wouldn't let your kids into the bar, would you? Don't let them listen to Critical Hit. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Critical Hit, a podcast where we drink beer and talk about everything. I am your host, Red King, and with me always is Crimson, Chrono Warden. What's good?
Hello, hello.
Tonight we are drinking Fear Movie Lions by Stone Brewing. And because last week I got so fucking into Toonami, we're talking about Toonami.
Slash Adult Swim.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Yes.
We are Critical Hit. This is Fear Movie Lions. Cheers, bros. Let's
Cheers.
go. Cheers. So this is
Making me want to kill myself.
so this is this was better than I remember it. Okay, so we are
It's a little hazy.
it's a hazy IPA. This is Fear Movie Lions
It
by
tastes like cloudy mud water.
That's messed up. Don't be dunking on them so early. So this is Fear Movie Lions by Stone Brewing, a double hazy IPA. It's hopped with laurel and mosaic hops, with flavorings of strawberry, blueberry, grapes, and white sage.
Sadness.
8.5 alcohol by volume, and I think it's about 60 IBU. So it's actually one of the most bitter beers that we have tried so far.
Yeah, and you can definitely notice that. But here's the thing:
It's a 2 for me. That is the worst beer we have drank so far on this podcast.
it's a 2. Listen, it's bitter. I will say that. I'm not a fan of bitter, but I didn't expect it to be like. It's a bearable bitter. Like, it's not heavy and bitter. It's like light and bitter. So it's kind of like a weird.
It's very light.
So that's the thing, right? I actually can taste the fruits in this one.
Yes.
And I liked that initial taste, but then it settled.
Yeah, that back note is
Yes.
incredibly bitter. So here's a little thing about. We're gonna talk about Stone Brewing real quick. So
That's
they
the coolest name ever.
yeah, I mean, and they have a fantastic mascot. That sweet gargoyle on the can that nobody can see is as their mascots for all their beers. Not just one like Pumpkin Pete. So
Good old Pumpkin Pete.
Hey, that one was good. That was a 5.
so
That was your first 10.
Yeah, listen, I didn't forget about that.
I'm not knocking it. That was
we
actually
didn't
pretty
forget
good.
that either. No, screw that. How the fuck are you gonna put pumpkin?
Yo,
Man.
how are you going to tell me you hate pumpkin beer and then find 3 in a month that you like?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't come.
Maybe we're both Tiffany.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Stone Brewing was founded in '96
Y'all going to show up looking like Han Solo now.
by Greg Koch and Steve Wagner. I'm talking through my teeth.
Is your butthole that clenched too?
San Marcos, California, is where they founded Stone Brewing. So this company has a ton of fucking benefits that they list on the site. They want it to be very transparent that they want to say they're telling us that they have the most benefits of any brewing company. They say they have health, vision, dental, 401k.
Oh,
They take care of their folks?
They have free beer and discounts on merch and their bistro, which is they run a bistro out of their headquarters.
Are you hiring?
Yeah, but it's in California.
I'll move.
You got a job here.
Okay, but here's your problem, right? What you pay for rent here would rent you a toilet in California. Because here's the thing, right? If you cut California out of the United States, like if it became its own country, it's the 6th largest economy on the planet.
So before we continue,
Ragging on California.
Oh no, it's a necessary part of the union. I'm just saying it's a big economy.
Red Hot Chili Peppers are mad right now.
So we're a week behind, right? So the episodes are going to come out a week behind. But last Tuesday was election day. How was that?
Horrifying.
I'm glad the fucking.
I'm glad that I will never see political ads again for 2 years.
No, you're going to see them next year. There's an election cycle every year. We just have local ones next year.
See?
And you're especially going to get it because you're home.
So that was what I was going to say is like I got the same ad every single day.
No, dude, like I hadn't checked my mail in a week. And my wife was like, hey, can you check the mail? A package came for me. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I had to pull out so many political ads from everybody. And I just wanted to burn them right there.
Yeah. I was like, how are you going to do this? And then YouTube's full of it. And so I'm glad that it's finally over.
At least YouTube isn't like, flooding my mailbox.
Yeah. You could actually... No, actually, you can't skip them.
Yeah, but you go take a piss and you're back in time because they're 2-minute ads. Like,
yes,
that's your commercial break. Is election ads.
Don't interrupt my YouTube flow.
So
yeah, but sometimes you gotta pee and you don't feel like pausing. So there's your ad.
Fair.
All you Gen Zers will never understand the. You can't pause this show. You gotta go.
Right, and so that's the perfect segue into
our
subject, which is right Toonami. So I think it's the greatest programming block ever conceived. So
I would say it's one of them for me.
Yeah,
I'm going to say pretty inarguably.
It has it basically has its own continuity, its own plot line, its own characters. So we'll start with kind of because we were talking about last week when we were doing the television episode, we talked a little bit about the lineups, which are fantastic, and I think we're going to get into that, but I'm going to go in a little bit on the side of the Toonami block, the series, basically itself, because it was in and of itself a series,
Right.
Yeah.
which was originally hosted by Moltar, right, the villain from Hanna-Barbera's Space Ghost.
Yes, and he became the producer on Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, so he got work after.
Yeah.
So
he got the come up.
yeah, so he actually, he's got
Most hated Space Ghost.
yes. So he's got a headquarters on Ghost Planet. So that's the plot line, right? Is so Ghost Planet where Space Ghost and Jan and Jason, that shitty monkey, he has a broadcasting station there on that planet, and he runs Toonami from right, I think 97
to 99.
Yep. And that's when they switched over, right? So Tom, the Toonami operations module, he replaced Moltar and the set changed. So it wasn't that lava-themed industrial complex on Ghost Planet, but it is a Ghost Planet spaceship called the Absolution. So they never gave up Ghost Planet. He is a Space Ghost character.
No, the funny part though is that
that's amazing.
after Tom 1 did his opening monologue, the first program they aired was Sailor Moon.
Okay.
Oh, so they came out strong with the new character. Yeah, no, that's pretty hardcore. You gotta admit that.
Because the first Tom voice actor was Sonny Strait.
Yes. Yeah. Right? Okay. So the voice of Krillin
Yep.
and the only Tom to die.
Yes.
There's a bit of a correlation there.
Okay. Krillin has technically a few things going for him, right? One,
He's got
18.
one.
Android 18, that's what he's got going.
well, no, I'm also going to point out that Krillin is technically the strongest human.
Yes.
He's better than Yamcha. He's died way less than Yamcha.
Well, Yamcha's a piece of shit.
He's got more game than Yamcha.
Yeah, he's pulled for real.
He got the best woman in the show.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he had consistently because you remember.
Wait.
Yeah.
There was another one.
Yeah.
Remember Marin?
Yes, I do.
Which was, I guess, not a canon character, but still, he had the pull.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, Krillin got the swag.
Out here
bro.
looking like fucking Shaolin Showdown.
Oh my gosh, but he's getting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Good for him.
damn it.
He's like, I died a lot. I deserve it.
So
I'm retiring. You guys are on your own. My wife is going to fight. I'm going to stay with the kids. She's stronger than I am. It's fine.
That's right.
So, Toonami. So the same day that they switched over to the to new sweet space themed drum and bass kick ass CGI.
Yeah.
They also announced the Midnight Run.
Yep.
They announced.
I remember staying up for this.
Oh my gosh! So that was their opportunity to put.
The gorier animes, yes.
And even episodes of Dragon Ball that they would show the same episode.
Uncut.
Yes, the uncut.
Well, less cut.
Yeah.
It was still cut pretty fucking bad.
Well, so the only like fully uncut they did was a Gundam Wing between March and November in 2000.
Ooh.
And that was all the way.
Full run. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Well, that's
And they ran the whole series uncut.
Yes, I don't know if it was they only had certain episodes and stuff because I was never a big Gundam fan.
That's the one thing.
Wait a minute.
So here's the thing, right? I don't dislike Gundam, and there's a couple I do actually enjoy.
Yes.
I'm just not like, oh, there's a new Gundam series, I have to watch it.
Gundam Wing was just a weird thing to revisit.
Okay, so I speaking of revisited, I went and I made the fucking horrible mistake of Googling Gundam Wing, and I showed you a whole bunch of those images of the official art of all of the main character, all the pilots. That was a really kind of that was a soft one. Like them boys was they was making it happen. Yeah. They were some sexy bitches.
Yeah, that's fun.
Out here with the fucking band get-ups and shit.
Oh man, it was crazy.
J-Rock.
And that was official. Like normally that's like fan art reserve stuff. They're just like,
Well,
we
no.
know.
And like Hiro Yui had like he baked a cake.
Yes.
And it was like, man, hands on my cake.
Yeah.
Which has so much different connotations if you look at it.
It's
with,
crazy
like,
now.
today
Modern
goggles. Yeah.
slang, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the funny part, though, right?
No. Ha. They knew it.
Maybe.
They knew it.
You're trying to tell me they told the future?
Yeah. It's like The Simpsons. Except they were talking about ass. This is...
Can I just say though? I do have to say that I think that's the one thing that I can argue why Toonami is like the best programming block, because it did a really fantastic job of like growing up with you. Like when you started on Toonami, like that just followed you. And it was crazy, and it was like it kind of like you got to see like more mature stuff when you were starting to kind of like grow up and stay up a little later, and like it was like crazy, dude. It was like the perfect.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to just have that as our TV run.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like a lot of the... I mean, it's changed a lot now because if you... Like the big hallmark of it, right, was the anime. Mm-hmm. And that you would...
That's still where a lot of the anime airs.
Yeah, like the American runs of stuff. But, I mean, like right now you pay $4 a month, right, for Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And it's... So the idea is different, but
like Black Clover and stuff, that still actively airs on Toonami today.
Huh.
Like
Yeah, they still got
The
the big
fucking
hits.
real ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got the hits. They knew like shonen is a thing in America because
so as of last Saturday, this was the lineup.
Oh,
12 a.m. My Hero Academia.
let's go.
12:30 a.m. Made in Abyss.
Okay.
1 a.m. is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Made in Abyss is kind of surprising. I'll be honest.
Hold on. 1:30, One Piece.
Oh no
Still
way.
going strong.
Yeah, One Piece has been airing since basically original Toonami, a little after, obviously, but 2 a.m. is Naruto Shippuden, and then 2:30 is Primal.
Naruto's still kicking around.
Wait. Primal, that's that Gendy Tartakovsky.
Yes.
Yo, that's another thing. Andy's been following Toonami. Ooh, let me tell you, that is deep Toonami history, man. Miss me with that.
So here's another one, right? In I think 2014 was Space Dandy.
Oh yeah.
It actually aired in the U.S. before Japan.
That's,
on Toonami.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh.
Toonami was where that first aired in English before it came out in Japan.
That's Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shampoo.
Yeah, dude.
Cowboy Bebop. Carol Tuesday.
Did Watanabe do XL Saga?
Did he do it?
No.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yes, I do know
Saga.
what XL Saga is. That's another weird one. That one's in the vein of Fooly Cooly.
But
Which
was Toonami?
Did you forget about Fooly Cooly?
Yes.
Listen, that
has a season 2.
It actually has 3.
What?
I was gonna say because I do know there's more.
Yes.
Because they came out with like a weird, odd sequel one that it wasn't that good. But then they're coming up with another one that's like more close to like the actual original one.
Right.
So like,
That's cool.
like a direct sequel. I'm like crazy.
So
The pillows.
yes.
if you don't have a soundtrack by the Pillows, you are out of here.
No,
Yeah,
you
one of the-
remember like 2001-ish, they started doing like the music videos on Friday nights.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Clint Eastwood by the Gorillas.
Oh my gosh.
dude.
What about One More Time with Daft Punk?
Yeah, Daft Punk.
Using the Interstellar. They kind of tied it in with Interstellar.
Yeah, they did. Which here's the thing, like that for me was groundbreaking. That put me on to like so much music that I'm just like, I bumped that today.
Yeah, so I like even Toonami's original soundtrack that went, I mean, that heavy EDM drum and bass, like, I mean, that has left a lasting impact on what I listen to and how I actually, I mean, when I think of something that's amazing, ahead of its time, cool, I get drum and bass, I get that heavy chorus opening that Toonami. It was amazing.
If it sounds like a video game boss fight music, it's good music.
So another hallmark of Toonami was its they call them total immersion events.
Yes.
And
beautiful.
so what they did,
Your Toms and Tims, folks.
yes. So what they would do is they would
They had one not that long ago, actually.
Yeah. So they haven't given up on the total immersions, and I gotta tell you, like, doing the research and reopening the stuff that I got into with Toonami, it is, I mean, like, it never left. It's still there. It's still big, bro.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? It was canceled in 2008. Like, there was still some side version that was running in the mornings.
Right.
And that ended in 2009. But the last actual episode when Cartoon Network canceled it originally was September 20th, 2008.
Right.
Literally, the final episode was a rerun of Samurai Jack. And since 2000, the voice actor for Tom has been Steve Bloom.
Yes.
Who is famously Spike Spiegel, Mugen, etc., etc.
Yep.
Yeah.
But literally, the last word of his final broadcast was bang, which is also the last line of Cowboy Bebop.
So I went and rewatched the final sign off for Toonami.
Yeah.
And just about died because it hit me right in the childhood feels.
Like it's weird because it is like an actual like it elicits an actual like emotional experience. Right. Because this is something that you grew up with, man. Like,
and they get you tied in. Like when I was a kid, and these total immersions came out.
Oh,
like I had just we had just gotten the a computer for the first time, just getting internet access.
Chonky monitor, man.
And
with your broadband.
Yeah,
we had broadband.
Yeah,
we never had the dial-up. I never got that. I never got that. Kind of missing out.
No, you would not.
Yeah,
want.
Absolutely not.
Listen though, we were
56K was fast back in the day.
Yeah,
I remember so many just sweaty days, just chilling in like summer days, man.
Yep.
Just chilling in the bedroom, just freaking sitting there playing your like tie-in games for these things. Like, and it was crazy, dude.
And they had
fleshed out.
They had amazing tie-in games.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was you influence the outcome, and they knew exactly where to put these. So I'm going to give you a little bit of I'll give you a little bit of statistics on the first Toonami total immersion event, the Intruder. So they always ran the total immersions in line with the new season of Dragon Ball Z because that was incredibly popular on that network.
I mean, that was basically its big show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think it was always on at 5:30, wasn't it?
Yes,
I believe
Because
so.
they put it right before the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Because that's when most people got kicked off, was 6.
Yep. And so the Intruder, that week-long event, saw a 50% increase in viewership, which massive.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And for that week, at least 4.5 million more page hits on the Toonami website to play the game. Those events back then, to drive your page views up, 4.5 million hits. I mean, super numbers right there. And they always had Nintendo themed call in to win or enter a code to win sweepstakes. So it was like with lockdown, they were giving out GameCubes and
they knew their fan base, man. That's the biggest thing. Like, I feel like that's why it was like so impactful.
So the Intruder was the least involved game, and it was kind of like you do exploration and you would try not to get eaten by the Intruder. You'd play as the Clydes, the small camera robots. The second total immersion, the Lockdown, was an actual RPG with fucking random encounters.
Yeah.
And you could get gear. You could enter a code to get gear and equip it to your... They were the docks. They were the...
Yeah.
And you had 3 different classes. So you had a light, a mid, a heavy.
I remember playing this so much.
So, yeah, and it was an actual RPG.
It's funny because it just makes me think of like the Burger King game, which was terrible.
My gosh. No, these ones were amazing. Trapped in Hyperspace was the third one.
Yep.
And it was full 3D. And it was... Yeah, it was like a...
No, but think about that age of the internet, right? Flash games and all that stuff.
Shockwave.
Yep. All that shit was free.
Yeah.
And amazing.
Yeah.
People made some crazy stuff with it. Like, you could go back and play those games.
Yo, one of the ones I spent a ridiculous amount of time on, Box Zombies.
Box Zombies.
Fancy Pants Adventures.
Oh, that's a good
before
one.
It got mainstream.
Yeah.
Sold on consoles and everything.
Yeah, we were OGs.
Alien Hominid before it became...
Yeah. Oh, dude. Don't even mess with me. It's like Newgrounds was like a minefield, but...
it still is. Don't worry.
All right.
Little sketch.
Little sketch.
Now, the fourth total immersion event was... And this was actually really interesting because it had nothing to do with the actual the Toonami plotline, which they continued later. But the fourth total immersion from our generation was the Immortal Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm. Yep, IGXP.
Yeah. Or IGPX.
Yes,
Yes,
IGPX.
And it had a fucking turn-based strategy game.
Yeah, a
involved.
full-fledged, dude. That was crazy. And they released new stuff weekly. Like, it was a new battle weekly.
Yep.
Well, because that was one of the first major Toonami-only things.
Yeah.
They produced it.
Yes.
And there was like a popularity poll. Like, it's crazy. Like that was...
But these, like, it actually launched IGPX as a original in-house produced series by William Street. Mm-hmm. And so so I've watched all of these. I watched the little animations that they paired with the Lockdown, with Trapped in Hyperspace, with Intruder. I watched the original IGPX, which was a combat-based anime. It wasn't because they remade it
as a racing one,
which was still really good.
Yeah.
It was still really, really good.
Inferior, though. Good, but inferior.
Like, it was gritty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like Takashi had that fucking blade with his robot.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool how they did do a point-for-point remake, though, of how each character how it worked.
Yeah, it was all still faithful. Like
Takashi still had that sword play. Liz still had the capoeira, or however I hope I said that one right. Is this a fucking theme where I'm just mispronouncing words?
Let's do it. Count them off.
You had Amy was the third one with the cat. You had like cat feral cat attacks.
Yeah. She was just like that cat.
She just throws cans of tuna at people.
Like, now, motherfucker.
Come forth, my children. What? So have you guys played Plague's Tale?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Well,
Rats.
it's on Game Pass. Yes, her attack is just summoning a horde of cats like that instead of rats.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I did not like Plague Tale. Well, I did like it, but
It's a dark game.
Yeah.
The sequel is also very, very dark.
yes.
But it is good.
Yep.
But we can say that Toonami has had it's a crazy impact. It's had because it changed the whole landscape of anime is like a normal thing now, essentially because of Toonami.
Yeah.
There was a point where it was like very fringe to be a fan of certain things. It's like, even though they were showing Dragon Ball Z, if you were a fan of anything else besides Dragon Ball Z, it was like, that's weird because anime is weird. But now it's like, mad people are just into it because of Toonami.
Yeah. Well, that was the other good thing about Toonami, right? Was that it wasn't only anime. You had Western animated shows.
Yeah.
Teen Titans.
Yeah, Teen Titans was,
Yeah.
that was mine. Also a great fighting game.
Yeah.
It was a fighting game.
Yep. Samurai Jack.
Samurai, yep. No.
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Yep, that's true. I forgot.
Megas XLR.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was originally meant to air on Friday nights, but they wound up switching it to the midnight run for Toonami.
Yeah.
It became the first one that was solely Western made that only aired on Toonami. Because Samurai Jack, Teen Titans, and Justice League, they didn't become Toonami exclusive until the end of their final seasons.
Yes.
Huh. That's crazy.
But Megas XLR was so fucking good.
That was such a good show, dude.
It was fantastic.
It embodied everything that sitting there with your angsty emo music. It's like,
No, but Coop was cool as fuck. He was just this fat dude.
Yeah.
Like, I want my cheeseburger. I modified this muscle car robot, and let's go beat some shit up.
Yeah,
And I was like, yes.
It was so good.
and he's Guy Fieri looking.
Yes.
He was Guy Fieri as fuck.
Right. And he had his scrawny emo friend,
Yeah.
whose name I cannot remember.
I'm not gonna lie, I always related to the scrawny emo friend.
Really? I way more identified with Coop.
I mean,
I wanted to be Coop.
Right.
That's what
I was a scrawny emo kid when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a beanpole back in those days.
So I, as a thing, right? I went and I checked out the original run of Toonami programming. So I watched a little bit of Thundercats. I still really like Thundercats.
So
It's opening. Have you ever watched like episode 1 of Thundercats?
yes.
I forgot.
But so you know the funny thing about Thundercats specifically, I almost said Thundercunts.
No. Oh my god.
But it was a Western show, but it was directed and animated by a Japanese studio.
I thought it was all American.
Nope.
Wow.
It was like the quintessential hybrid.
I thought it was American as apple pie.
Wasn't there like? So remember Silverhawks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that it was the same people who did Silverhawks.
You know what I thought? Like, I honestly thought, like, Thundercats, SWAT Cats, Silverhawks, Road
SWAT
Rovers.
Cats, dude.
I
Wow.
was like SWAT Cats was my... Don't
Dude,
even...
I loved that show.
Oh,
You just
man.
said it, and I was like,
Oh, that
whoa,
show
you
was
just
my-
brought some memories back there. Damn.
There was a lot of confusion from certain characters, but it was...
Oh, whoops! I'm a furry.
Yeah.
Like you wonder why so many people are fucking furries now.
Yeah.
All they had was like
Yeah.
hot furries. Oh gosh.
No, SWAT Cats...
Do you have a confession to make?
Got another confession to make.
Oh, we hit the wrong. I said my friend. He said to make.
Oh,
It's a different part of the song.
damn it.
Okay. Anyways,
That's it.
failed on that one. Just fucking turf that one.
Scratch that. That was our chance of our moment.
So the other one that I watched was Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
Okay, that show was my jam. I really liked it, except for the CGI segments, which were fucking nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
That I can't remember the dude's name. The the black haired dude, the villain guy.
I forgot his name.
That motherfucker, like the CGI was so bad, you just need to go watch it.
Describing it, you sound like you're about to throw up.
It is bad.
Like, but here's the thing. I will say there are some things about Johnny Quest that have not aged well.
Oh, you mean Haji?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. They made it better in Real Adventures.
Yeah, I feel like there was a point where it's like, okay, yeah, this is really just like, yeah.
No, Haji was a good character in Real Adventures.
In Real Adventures, he was. No, I completely agree, but...
They dropped. Sim Sullivan was the dumbest fucking thing in the universe. It actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But that's it is what it is. It was old and
Product of the time.
yeah, but I'm not gonna fault them too bad for that. It was a solid sequel, and they introduced a girl character, and they really broke up that really weird subtext. And
We don't talk about something.
but we do talk about initial
D.
initial D should have been on Toonami. How sick would that shit be?
Yeah.
So, right, Cartoon crushes Jesse from Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, because that's when I started to notice girls. And now we're moving on.
Anything totally is fine.
What?
Totally is fine. Fucked me.
Oh my gosh, this has gone in a really weird direction. We were just talking about Toonami.
Yeah. Listen.
So the first thing that they premiered when they switched over to the new Toonami was Sailor Moon, and I'm gonna continue derailing them.
Yeah. It's like, by the way.
No, absolutely not. I won't let you do this.
I
Can't let you do that, Red King.
There's a lot of blame to be placed. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I could say is that, like, it's had just groundbreaking moments in, like, American television because like it trailblazed basically action programming, like cartoon programming. It was like inarguably like the best block at the time. Like
because I remember, once again we're going to talk about Johnny Quest.
Okay, but have you noticed since all these shows, Western animation tends to
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
There's a few cases.
but
okay, but like Violet Evergarden
that's a
exists and is one of the best anime ever. Like that is
like art style. I don't think I liked the actual show.
ooh hot. Hot.
why? Because it made you feel things and you want to be an emotionless robot?
I cried.
So did I.
There was an episode. Ooh, no.
One? Just
no.
one?
No, yeah.
No.
Listen.
No.
Yeah, I told you.
Yep.
No,
I watched that episode. It sucked.
Yeah, it was sad.
No,
as
I
fuck.
fucking hated it.
Yeah, and I don't like. If you're gonna listen that much of an emotional response from me, I'm not ready for
No,
that.
it was. Fuck that.
You know,
Dude, that whole fucking show is amazing.
Okay.
You don't like anything that makes you feel stuff. Onward, Encanto.
Violet Evergarden. Fuck off. How's that? I'm gonna cuss you out.
he said okay.
Oh my gosh.
But listen.
Talk about the lineup.
Oh yeah. Listen.
Which one?
There's a lot of them.
Yes, there is.
So,
Like when they ran the cross promotion with Cartoon Network. And we're actually featuring like Cardcaptor Sakura and stuff.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
And here's the thing: can we talk about the fact that pretty much inspired like almost every other Cartoon Network, not Cartoon Network, but like Nickelodeon ran anime for a little bit. Disney ran- Fox ran anime.
So there was. So now we're gonna start. I mean, basically, you could just start dunking on every other one, right? Because even though anime has always had a pretty sordid history of being very heavily censored when it comes to localization, Cartoon Network did it the least. They still had some funky stuff, like like in Sailor Moon when you couldn't show lesbians. So
They had to make them cousins.
and that did,
the subtext got worse.
like, bro, you didn't help.
Right. I mean, like, damn. You don't need to localize it for that particular subset of America.
Yeah, I want to say that's American as you can get it.
Like they really made it weird.
Right. That's so much more awkward.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little Toonami thing, and I'll use it to segue into another point that I had. So Toonami also tried to break into that Saturday morning, that good
Yes.
Saturday morning slot with the Rising Sun.
Oh,
Yep.
I forgot about that.
So Rising Sun was awesome, and it was commercially pretty successful. They
That was
canceled
the
it.
last part running.
They canceled it themselves because Warner also owns WB.
Yes.
And
WB
they did,
Kids.
Yeah, so they didn't want to interrupt that the marketing or the viewership flow for the Saturday morning block. So imagine being so fucking good that your only competition is yourself.
Yeah.
But the one thing that they did have for WB was heavily edited and censored versions of stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh, where Bandit Keith did. So they were. They chilled. They actually did chill later with the guns. But the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
so many people pulling burners in the fucking card game universe. Play this shit.
I didn't know it was that serious.
You activated my trap.
You're dropping
Your card? No.
Like, are you serious?
And they would.
You're gonna pull a gun on
And
me?
it was like
And
any
Bandit
opportunity.
Keith, he got within headshot execution distance of I
Maximilian
can't. Yeah,
Pegasus.
yeah. That was his name, Maximilian Pegasus. Put it up on his head and said. He put that thing right to his head, bro. And that was something that was so fucking hard in that show.
Yo, Yu-Gi-Oh cut way harder than it should have.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, and it was kind of hilarious because in every instance that they had a gun, they just redrew it into a fairly convincing finger point.
Yes.
So I actually went and I looked up the censor, like the many, because it's easy to censor the cards, right? Because a lot of the cards had like, like cleavage, or I was like, oh my gosh, you can't show cleavage.
Yes, because boobs are somehow the end of existence.
Right. Or they had, religious imagery in
Yes.
some of the cards. Stuff like that, or they were incredibly violent, which some of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards are incredibly bloody and violent. But the thing that was amazing to me was redrawing fucking guns to fairly convincing finger points. Now,
Like they shaded it and everything.
now, WB did that a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh, and they did it a lot when I think it actually was. No, it was 4Kids, which was like a Fox type of thing, where they were in One Piece. That was where I actually first watched One Piece.
Yep.
And it's really surprising that I made it, and I continue to actually enjoy that series.
Okay.
Because they fucked that one up.
So here's the thing,
they really
right?
did.
There exists 2 dubs and 2 versions of Rurouni Kenshin. One is much more heavily censored. And that one has the worst voice actors.
Yep.
That always
And
seems to
that
be
was
the
the
case.
4Kids one.
Wait, 4Kids?
I believe they did the one Rurouni Kenshin dub.
That's a lot. I mean, at that point, it's almost like trying to
Right, but here's the thing, right? The other one was airing at the same time. You could see both of them in the same day.
Kenshin was on Toonami.
Yes,
Yeah,
a good one.
Yeah.
But they
That's
had
what
the
I
heavily censored one, like the fight where he's learning the Amakeko Ryo no Hirameki.
That's a good one. Okay, good pronunciation. I would have fucking dropped that one.
I had to practice for that one.
Good.
But my
Good
wife
play.
and I have been were watching Rurouni Kenshin a few years ago.
Okay.
They hit a filler arc, and I was like, "No, this is stupid. Stop it."
Yeah.
Because that one was one of the first ones to hit like 100 episode count, but I don't think they ever aired the back half on Toonami.
I don't think.
Because they got to the one where he ends up fighting his replacement. I can't remember the guy's name, who, ironically enough, is still voiced by Steve Bloom.
That dude gets work.
Well, so the funny part, though, is that... why the fuck can I not remember that guy's name? The character, not the actor. Anyway, his, female companion was voiced by Wendy Lee, who is Twilight Suzuka, Faye Valentine,
Okay.
Yoruichi Shihoin.
Yep.
So there's veterans.
Yeah, so Bo Billingsley, famously Jet Black, Wendy Lee, Faye Valentine, and Steve Bloom, Spike Spiegel. They do a bunch of shit together. They're in a bunch of shit together.
Yeah, they're just all fucking voice acting buddies.
That's guaranteed good chemistry though. That's the one thing. They were.
You'll actually work off of one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I would say that there was it's crazy how much it changed everything. Cause we watched Naruto on 2 different networks.
Right. You had the censored version and the less censored version.
And ironically enough, when they first started showing the sequel series Naruto Shippuden, they started showing that on. It wasn't Nickelodeon in the United States.
No, it was Disney Jetix.
Disney. That's
Jesus.
right. Which is crazy because the original Naruto ran on Toonami and Adult Swim. So
that's the thing, right? You're kind of seeing that with the revival of Bleach, right?
Mm.
Disney Plus got it outside the United States.
It's Disney Plus and Hulu's got it here.
Yes. But Disney owns both of them, so.
Yeah, so what
Because here's the
running
thing,
a race
right?
against yourself.
Well, the thing is that Hulu used to be more companies, right? But when Disney bought Fox, they became the primary owner of it. Mm-hmm. And obviously they had Disney Plus, but Disney Plus is kind of where they put their movie catalog. Because Hulu still has other stuff on it. Like, it gets a lot of anime just as soon as Crunchyroll does. And the fact that Crunchyroll got outbid for Bleach. Because here's the thing,
Yeah,
right?
it's huge.
Speaking of uncensored, all the blood and shit, all like the just gore that's happening to characters, they're animating that. It's in the new one.
Right.
So when we get there, your kids cannot watch it with us.
Like, no, not allowed.
Like, there's flesh peeling off of a Shinigami skull.
Dude,
They kill a lot of characters. I won't spoil anything, just to be fair. But
I can't wait.
That's so bad.
but it's so good.
So we've talked a little bit about the background of Toonami. We got into a lot of our
Tangents.
weird tangential. We got weird focuses on that. Like the way that our minds work is honestly a little disturbing. But we're going to talk about a few. Yeah, my voice does weird thing.
What was that?
Shut up. We're gonna talk about a few.
Salesman!
Salesman. We're gonna talk about a few of the shows of Toonami because there was a lot of them.
Yes.
They had a bunch of fantastic ones, and I'm gonna start. So, like the low hanging fruit of like getting a bunch of animes and trying to like localize them and put them into your programming blocks, right? It's easy. Like we've seen Gundam localized, and there's like 500,000 different series.
So, I once made a joke that there were more Land Before Times than Gundams. I was wrong. There are 14 Land Before Time movies. Back when I counted this, and this was 5-6 years ago at this point, there was 43 different Gundam series. They have released more since then.
So Toonami had tons.
Gundam Seed, Gundam Wing, Gundam 08th MS Team, which is actually my favorite one.
Oh.
I didn't like that one.
Really?
You want to know what my favorite one?
Yeah.
We're gonna fucking fight me on it. Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
Gundam, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shining finger.
Yes.
That guy was a
See,
psycho.
Yeah.
The
all the
reason
way
I
to it.
liked Gundam 08th MS Team, though, was because it went more into the horrors of war.
Yeah.
Like that final post-credit scene, which this anime is fucking 25 years old at this point. If you haven't seen it by now, I'm fucking spoiling it. Kiss my ass. Straight up, it's the main character, his girlfriend, who is the bad guy's sister. They blow up with him, right? And everybody else thinks they're dead. Mm-hmm. It loads in. He's got one leg. She has one arm. And they're walking together out of a cave, and he's on a crutch.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Midnight Run being much, much bloodier than the daytime.
Yes. So Mobile Fighter G Gundam was better than that because they were just whiling all the fucking time.
Yep, they were just like some of the most Street Fighter-esque stereotypes.
Right. As we kind of covered in nostalgia, you guys went for much more like action-y based stuff growing up than I did.
Yes.
I was far more into the story.
Yep. And
And that's not to say either approach is wrong. It's just kind of interesting to look at Gundam, and you have the fighting game, Mobile Z Fighter Gundam buttfuckery.
oh, come on. So my top Gundam series in this order are the original, the 70s, the just Mobile Suit Gundam.
Gundam is so old.
Fantastic. I never like I just never get tired of it. It's amazing. I love.
Well, yeah, there's always something cool
that's
about
number one.
giant fucking robots beating the shit out of each other.
And Amuro was only a little bit annoying. He wasn't as annoying as I thought he was.
He was just intense.
He was like, the salt. That one fucking episode. Yeah. They did a lot of right. We're D&D players. World building is really important. The minutia sometimes it's weird.
Listen, I made my wife redesign her maps to fit better geopolitically speaking.
Yes. So it's those types of things that the 70s, the original Gundam did great. Yeah. There was a part where they had to figure out fucking salt. And
like for their food, salt.
Yeah, because, you know, it's important.
Right.
It's important nutritionally.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking really amazing. They did really good with that. The number 2 Gundam series is Mobile Fighter G Gundam. The third one, I want to say, and this is strictly from just nostalgia's sake, and as fucked up and weird as it is, is Gundam Wing. I remember that show being harder than it was, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
That cake, huh?
Yeah, bro.
That cake. Woo. You remember SD Gundam?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, thank you for mentioning that. SD Gundam is actually ranked on the top 10 list of worst animes ever produced. SD Gundam Force.
Wow. Ouch. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was pretty terrible.
No, it was bad. It was really bad.
And because I remember that show made me mad, bro. like, I'll be real. I was I was a weirdo when I got into anime, man. I was like, I love this. I love everything about it. It looks so cool. It sounds so cool. So if you made it look stupid, I was like, I disown everything about you.
But it was kind of like it was kind of like Cubics. Remember Cubics?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Robots for everyone.
Yes.
I remember
and
having
it was You
Cubics.
mean the pre-Roblox?
Don't do that.
I had a Cubics, man.
That was the sickest fucking toy.
Yeah. I had actually a transport. It was so cool.
So, the second show that I wanted to mention from Toonami's amazing lineup of, shows that they just brought to you and that changed you forever. Ronin Warriors.
Yo.
So they had Sailor Moon, and it was Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. It was so Ronin Warriors is like the boy version of Sailor Moon.
Yes,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
It's up there with what is it? Saint Seiya?
Saint Seiya.
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd they call it when it first came out? Knights of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
And I ran. Yeah, Bowling for Soup did the theme song for it, which was a cover of.
I lost
That was really good.
Yeah, you cannot hate on that. I'm sorry, you can't hate on
I'm
that.
not hating on it.
Yeah, that was like.
That's why I brought it up.
So Ronin Warriors was like the because Saint Seiya obviously existed. And everybody's got a great value version. Ronin Warriors was like that because they were all samurais.
Yes.
And they had this, they had the armor and they would henshin transform him into this armor. And they would fight the most disjointed villains because some of them were based loosely off of Japanese mythology. Then they had Anubis.
I love that segment.
I fucking love late 90s, early 2000s anime. It didn't have to make sense.
No, it really did.
And
there was Anubis.
And
say that's all you really have to say about that.
Yeah.
This week we're fighting a Kitsune. Next week Anubis. What?
Whoa.
So they had
Scaled up a
they had
little
the they had the guy and he was Talpa. And, well, I have no idea what the Japanese name for any of this is, right? Yeah. Because that was so deep in the localization and I mean, they changed everybody's names.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What?
Maybe they didn't.
Because it was Ryo,
Kento, Sai, Rowan, and Sage. There we go.
Yeah.
And it was all that was their names in the Japanese dub. They might have had different pronunciations, but then so every a hallmark of classic anime localization was a Brooklyn accent on one of the characters. So Sanji had the Brooklyn accent, and then Joey Wheeler, hey, with you with the hat of the cats, and then they put they had Rowan.
Yeah.
They completely changed his archetype for the English dub of they were Samurai Troopers was the Japanese name for it, but they were Ronin Warriors, and I think that kind of works a little bit better.
Well, okay, but you have to understand the cultural difference in Japan of that era is that Ronin were lordless warriors. They were considered dishonorable.
Oh shit.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense because they were
cooler sounding.
But then they had Rowan was his name, and they completely changed his archetype, and he was the Brooklyn accent guy, and I don't know why they did it. Like, fucking really... Samurai Pizza Cats had a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
So that was like
Samurai.
Fuck's sake.
I know that wasn't Toonami, but like, I'm thinking of
like just anime related shows with
Brooklyn accent.
Right. But I feel like somebody in Digimon had it too.
Oh, none of the main characters had a Brooklyn accent.
I don't know.
No, Devimon. Devimon had a Brooklyn accent.
Yes. No, it was Impmon.
They both did.
Why?
Wait, no. Impmon evolved into
Beelzemon.
That's who it was. Yeah, because Beelzemon had it too.
Devimon did not have a.
Devimon did.
That little round guy.
That was Devimon.
Devimon did not have a Brooklyn accent.
No, he did.
Impmon did. And he evolved into Beelzemon, who had the Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. So I'm like, that was fire. I don't care.
I blame the 80s for that, because if you think about it, a lot of like American culture that was exported during that time, 80s movies in particular, heavily featured that accent.
So that was the other thing as far as heavily exported caricatures. So the main character of Ronin Warriors had the surfer dude accent.
Oh man, yeah, was.
And Sai had a British accent.
Yeah, it was weird. They went very like.
He was basically Paul McCartney, which it makes sense because if you look at that character, he does kind of look like if you were an American and you looked at him, you would say, "Hey, that dude looks like Paul McCartney," which is why you would like with Blue Seed. Remember Blue Seed when that first came out? So like there's this whole universe of like this first generation of anime dubs that just had cartoonish, idiotic fucking caricature accents.
Yes.
I do want to point out Blue Seed and Inuyasha were essentially the same thing. if you really look at it.
They were not.
Listen,
they were pretty not.
There's some key differences.
No, the key difference is the fact that one's
looking for a jewel, one's looking for some seed. And
Oh. So we're gonna disengage from that one.
All right, moving on.
Yes.
Okay, so first one I'm going to mention, Cowboy Bebop. Top 10 greatest anime ever made.
Yep.
Everybody should watch it. Even if you're not an anime fan, you should watch Cowboy Bebop. It is that good. The opening and the closing themes both
man.
slap.
Yeah, till this day, I can put that on.
And debate on the Netflix live action or not, the one thing that they did not fuck up was that opening.
Yes.
It was so fucking good.
Yep.
But that's all I'm going to mention on that one. Second one, Outlaw Star.
Oh, yeah.
My actual personal favorite anime.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Is that like an of all time type of situation?
Yep.
There we go.
To this day, I've had the same favorite anime for 20 years now, probably. And the funny thing is that I actually did not like Outlaw Star when it first came out. And it took me a while to warm up to it.
That's crazy because I fell in love with that anime as soon as I saw it. I was like, everything about this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I actually saw Cowboy Bebop first. So I was being the edgelord preteen that I was and was like, oh, this is just shitty Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Because you could never like multiple things at once at the time, right?
Yeah, it always had to be all into one thing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, agreed there.
And if something dared betray it, it was fucking terrible. Yeah. But then, you get a little older and your head's not shoved so far up your ass.
Yeah, this is true.
Big O.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Midnight Run.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They were doing it during the daytime run of Toonami initially.
Yes, but that is one of the more existential anime. Like, the story of that one is very, very odd. Like, you really have to be paying attention.
Well, fun fact about that, too, the artist actually, tried his best to emulate, Batman the Animated Series and Superman.
And he did a very good job of that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And do you know who played Roger Smith?
Yep. Yes, yeah.
Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
Once again.
He's been there, man. He's an OG.
So,
he's still Tom's voice to this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the amount of work that he was doing for the Warner Broadcasting Company at that point was ridiculous. I mean, and they were the first. I mean, maybe somebody can just correct me on it or not, but these were a lot of the original runs of these shows in the U.S. where they were being localized in-house by
dub.
Yeah. And
hey, Steve, you're already here to record for Tom. You want to record this one too? Sure, fine. Give me the script.
we got a couple other ones too.
And he just happened to have the best voice ever.
Well, okay. So the thing is that you always know when it's him. Though.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
He's a very good voice actor, but you always know when it's him.
And he's also a go-to voice for Wolverine.
Yes.
I mean,
good. He's good as him.
Yeah, he's just really
right.
He just doesn't miss.
That was the thing about Big O, right? Like you said, it's very close to Batman the Animated Series. It's literally if Batman had a mecha, right? And memory loss.
So
that's
when I first watched that, when it first came out, I thought it was an American.
Yeah, that's how good they did.
Yeah,
because Roger Smith is Bruce Wayne. He just has a big ass robot, but his butler is fucking Alfred.
Dude, yeah, no, it is. It is pretty much point for point.
Right.
Except Robin was not a robot girl.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I'm just
Dorothy isn't Robin.
No, she's not.
I still think that's one of my favorite scenes is he's trying to pick her up and she's like, dude, I weigh 2 tons. I'm made of fucking all this metal. What are you doing?
That was hilarious.
And then she just picks him up.
I know one of the series that stuck out the most to me, because I played video games about this. I remember model kits about I remember Zoids.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say that Zoids was so fucking good.
Oh,
what was your favorite Liger form?
Honestly, the original OG Liger Zero. They just had it was just so iconic for me.
Schneider was my favorite.
Okay, I liked Snyder, but I liked Panzer.
That's fair.
Okay. No, there was something about like.
Oh no, Jaeger was.
Jaeger, the speed,
Yep.
the blue one. That's surprising because I would have figured you for the red one. But Schneider was all the blades. Because that's the thing, right? Schneiden in German is to cut.
Yes.
That is literally what that means.
Yes.
That is cool as hell.
Was Panzer's like heavy or something like that?
Panzer is tank.
Yes.
That's why
And-
German Panzer units.
Yes,
And,
and-
then Jaeger is hunter.
Hunter, yes.
Because and the funny thing is, we actually got our Zoids series out of order
Yes.
in the U.S., which is kind of funny
Because, well, so that's the thing, right? They actually had one that was way more heavily like mech fighter, wartime based that came on at like 5 a.m, and I would wake up to watch it.
yeah, and that was the original
Yes.
Zoids, and the one that we watched was after, very
Yes.
far after.
Because the original one, it was a war.
They're
The one,
chronologically ordered. I didn't realize that.
yes.
Yeah.
The one with Bit, they're in an arena.
Yep.
It's no longer about war.
Yep, and this was like that was kind of their way of like regulating everything. It was
Yeah.
like there was actually lore behind.
Yeah, there
why
was
that
full
happened.
lore.
Yeah, and it was
I didn't
like
know that.
yeah, and there was just something cool about seeing all the different types of like Zoids fighting each other and like they had
Dude,
some-
Brad and the Shadow Fox.
yeah, yeah.
So fucking edgy.
Man's was sick. Man's was sick.
Right, he's like all jealous, and then he gets this kick-ass fucking Zoid and still can't beat Bit and the Liger.
But Liger was
Yeah, Liger was cool, but Shadow Fox was also fucking cool.
what? Berserk Fury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like the original. Like this is like the show.
So like you'd start to get into these archetypes. So
Yeah.
I think one of the things that as I'm growing up and I'm watching these shows, and I start to find the archetypes that fit. The one that really hit for me was like Berserk Fury, because it like I was such an angry little cunt when I was a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, Berserk Fury.
yeah.
But then when I started
There's
to
two
like,
words for angry. Otherwise,
that was exactly me. I'm 2 words for angry. I'm so mad. I've got 2 words for it.
All right, Hulk, calm down.
No, I was cooler than the Hulk.
I'm always Berserk Fury, Cap.
No. That just makes me cringe, but I liked it. Zaberfang was also
Yes.
yeah, yep.
it was the team of 3 guys,
Yes.
and they were all the Zaberfangs, and oh damn it, that was such a good fucking show.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's what I'm saying. That was like
I didn't expect it, but
listen,
yeah.
Zoids is good.
I was thinking about mentioning Zoids, but like, yeah, dude, good job. That's fucking awesome.
That's the one thing I will say is there's so many that's like you'll find one, but I will have to say, Code Geass was actually like because it had been a long time since I've been able to watch a politically driven mecha anime. So I was like, I wasn't really trying to get into that, but it's like there was something about Code Geass in the way of like, I don't know, that whole like uprising thing, and it's like this dude like started from the bottom, now we're here. I mean, he was a royal piece of shit. Like he was a terrible person.
well, so that's the thing, right? Lelouch never claimed to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing that fucking Walter White thing again. Damn you to hell. We need to get away from TV. If you find another Walter White.
Wow, but that's an interesting correlation, though, right? You just compared Walter White to Lelouch from Code Geass.
Get a guy who can do both.
Yeah. Oh.
No, Lelouch would
Make
totally...
meth and conquer the
He would
British
cook-
Empire?
He
think he
would
would
cook
cook-
meth if he had to.
Yeah, and
You're
sold it to
thinking
the
he's
British
cooking?
citizens.
Oh, he'd be cooking. He would. He'd do it.
He put the chili in.
Oh my god.
Okay, but
I wish I could.
What do you call that? Do you call it breaking Geass or Code Bad?
Oh, I love Code Man. Code Man.
Yeah, it works.
Code Bad.
So he's any means necessary.
Yeah. This is
Breaking Geass is just—it sounds like a spell.
That's what will have to happen in our next session.
Can I throw this in there though? Like this is more of like a segment than a show, but I'm sure we all remember that Toonami reviewed video games.
Yes, I do remember that.
Oh my gosh!
So
They did it all.
They really did, and it's like there was something about their reviews because like at the time like you had like X Play and stuff on Tech TV coming on, and they like were super like snooty about their reviews, but it's like then you got Toonami and you got Tom just chilling there playing the video like this could be better, but it was like it was
he
like
was real chill about all of his reviews.
Right. He was never like overly harshly critical. He was like, this part I didn't really like, but you know what? I really wonder if they had Steve Bloom play all those games though. Like, or did they
How
just
fucking sick with that?
right? Like,
That'd be amazing.
like if this ever gets big enough that we can actually talk to him, I would ask him that question.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
did you actually play those games to review them?
I want him on a Zoom call next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a mission. We will it into
We gonna
existence.
catch him.
There was just so much about Toonami that was so good, and it's
Well,
like
if I remember right, they reviewed Final Fantasy Tactics, didn't they?
yeah, they reviewed Final Fantasy Tactics. They reviewed Super Mario Sunshine. I do remember that one vividly.
Yeah.
They reviewed.
They're still doing reviews.
Yeah, they are.
And that's the thing is they never stopped, and
They never forgot where they came.
so
from.
like
I don't know
So-
if they still do the music video thing, do they?
I wouldn't
Here's-
fucking be surprised.
Here's the thing, though. Spiritually, it did live on. Now, hear me out. Because lo-fi hip-hop is a very, very big, popular thing right now.
They're not doing lo-fi, are they?
They were always doing lo-fi. Hear me? So hear me out. Especially when it switched over to Adult Swim was essentially the birth of that lo-fi hip-hop craze. Because they had their bumpers, they had like even like the original like Adult Swim tune was very easy listening, and that was it pretty much was
They're
like
ahead of the game the whole time.
since I can remember. That's what I'm saying. They were groundbreaking, dude. It was like really crazy how they were like up on everything, man. And so that's why I would like. It's kind of living on because they still have the bumpers on Adult Swim and all that, and it's like, they incorporated more of that type of music into the breaks and everything. So they definitely, they remember where they came from, man. Like that's the thing. Like it's got all their history going forward, and it's like you feel like you've always been a fan of this programming block because it's like so inclusive.
Yeah.
I guess I can't continue without talking a little bit about Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, let's be realistic, it's why we have anime.
Yeah.
It and Sailor Moon are what carried the anime block.
And while I'll claim up and down that I don't claim Sailor Moon at all. We all got our start there. So, right,
Mr. Mars.
Nobody can see it.
Fire.
Flipping middle bird right now. Middle bird?
The middle bird, the only bird.
Oh no.
You lost.
FML, bro.
Thank
Fear
you.
Movie Lions sends a
Thank you for your hazy
turn-
double
yeah.
IPA punch in the face.
yes, that 8.5 ABV, and now I'm starting to stumble over words.
Yeah.
As opposed to normal.
Okay. Didn't know I was going to get attacked today. We're going to talk about Dragon Ball Z. So,
There's a lot
what-
to say about that.
yeah, what can you say about Dragon Ball Z except for the most amazing series? Say what you want. Whatever criticisms are completely justified. It is quintessential anime.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing, right? I watched it when I was growing up, but I cannot go back and watch Dragon Ball Z anymore. I just can't.
Here's the thing. I actually find myself being the stark opposite, where I can very much go back and watch the older episodes. I can't get into the new stuff.
I haven't even tried Super or anything.
So here's my problem is that they kind of undervalued like a lot of the really, really cool moments. Like, for example, the first transformation in Super Saiyan. Really, really awesome, right? Okay, dramatic,
Right.
speech. It was just this big heroic moment, right? And then they had multiple times where it's like Goten and Kid Trunks, they're just like,
Right, they fart and then they're Super Saiyan.
So now here's the thing, and I get it, and I get what they were kind of trying to build towards, but it's like Dragon Ball Z had the worst habits of like
Power creep.
Yeah, power creep, but then doing something amazing with the power creep, and then retconning it by having somebody absolutely horrible achieve it easier.
So it's funny that you say that because they just did that. Frieza Black.
Yeah.
So I'm going to justify some of the like. It seems like they're obviating stuff like that. So Super Saiyan was never it wasn't supposed to be an aggressive transformation, if you will. So Super Saiyan is actually closer aligned with being a good person, which was not characteristic of Saiyans as a race.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, right? It's like the Superman situation. Superman is only super because he's on Earth under the yellow sun of Earth. If he was under the red sun of Krypton, he'd be a regular guy. And if all Saiyans were not, in Dungeons and Dragons terms, chaotic evil, if they were lawful or even chaotic good, if they had a different alignment, more of them would be able to turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
And it would be easy because it's your spirit.
Right.
Now, the rage transformation, it's totally viable. Like when Gohan was trying to learn it to fight Cell, and Goku tells him it's from a need, not a desire. He's right adjacent. He's correct adjacent. Being a Super Saiyan is about being a super guy. And
yeah, but
so
okay,
these
like Goku is not a super guy though.
So
Goku is the laziest piece of shit ever.
Yeah, but he was pushed to his absolute limit, and when he achieved his Super Saiyan transformation, it's actually an imperfect transformation.
Yeah.
And every transformation after that is imperfect. So his god forms in Super, they're
Okay. Reiterate the word you just said and tell me how that obviates power creep. That is the worst kind of power creep.
No. But
okay, it already mentions in the original Dragon Ball Z that Vegeta blew up planets.
Mm-hmm.
That's already pretty.
That's like,
anyways.
The dude is a human Death Star.
Okay, so we were supposed to be saying positive things about Dragon Ball. Damn you.
I'm gonna be the cynic.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, right? Watching Goku charge up a spirit bomb for 6 episodes
Hype
and
as
then
fuck.
miss.
Huh?
Hype as fuck. I'm saying it.
Yeah.
That was my childhood. I was like,
I would put my hands up when
I'm like, bro,
Right.
give him the energy.
give him
But-
that energy.
Here's the fucking problem.
What?
He missed and then had to spend another 6 episodes charging up.
It's filler, whatever. That's the
12 episodes.
man. That's out there.
You gotta fill it somehow.
Right. But I'll bet you if you read the manga, that fight was 4 pages.
Word, you're probably right.
Yeah, you're right, but that's like, that's the industry.
Just mumbling so fucking.
But I mean, no, I see what you mean, but like, it defined a generation.
At the time, that was really, really cool. And yeah, my brothers and I, we did that too. and my friends. But that's the reason why I can't go back and watch it. You just mentioned God form for fucking Goku. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
There was Supreme Kai. Now there's like King God Supreme Buttfuck of the Universe Kai.
Damn, son.
Shenron isn't even the most powerful being in the universe. There's like planet-sized Dragon Balls for some creator of the universe.
Those were cool.
But now Goku is getting to that power level. He's going to fight the creator.
And
because he's in the race with Superman. That's why.
What?
Because he's in the race with Superman. They can't let that go.
But Superman...
You gotta keep that strong.
Okay, so... yeah.
That's why.
One of the things that was interesting about Dragon Ball Z when it first came out, right? They skipped over the original series.
Yeah.
And
it's very different.
It was really weird to watch through all of Dragon Ball Z. Even though it was censored, they still went hard.
Yeah.
Remember the censoring where they were like, "Oh, I'm sending you to another dimension." So he's doing baleful teleport. I don't think so. Fucking blew him off. There's not that much smoke and debris with sending someone to another dimension.
It depends on the
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny when I realized that was like a censorship tactic.
Well, right. Yu-Gi-Oh! Did the Shadow Realm, right?
And this one
Remember? So I remember during the Vegeta saga, there was this one part where Nappa and Vegeta, they just basically go to a city and destroy it.
Yeah.
And there's a news crew that's following them, and there's just carnage and everything. And then in the English dub, there's just this disjointed part where it's like all this destruction, and then somebody's like, "Oh, good thing they got away just in time." It's like nobody in those buildings.
This is a town under construction. No one lives here.
Oh, that's funny. They did use it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So when obviously Dragon Ball Z is a sequel to the original Dragon Ball series. It was really weird because when Toonami first brought it over, it was they aired it out of order.
Yes.
And I will admit, I have never watched Dragon Ball all the way through.
Really?
Okay.
That's interesting.
So
I think it's something I could get into now. But when I was a kid,
Dragon Ball was actually really, really good.
When I was a kid, I couldn't get behind it because there was no hyper fighting. There was no explosive screaming all the time. It was
Goku didn't even know the Kamehameha back then.
yeah. It was something that he learned, and it was something that he was. It was kind of interesting because they had a lot of creativity. Mm-hmm. So Goku would fire a blast down towards the ground and propel himself into the air, and it was tricky stuff. And it was completely obviated by being able to fly later in the series.
Yeah.
And then when Z came out, it was just everybody was a flyer.
Yes.
And but in the early series in the Saiyan saga, they actually did a lot of creative things, and they were using some of their old powers, like multiform, where they would break their key energy up into multiple of this, and they'd be able to multiply themselves. They were a little weaker, but they could try to overwhelm their opponents.
Yeah.
And Tien did that fucking multiple arm thing.
I remember that.
It was like, and it was all these things that they completely did away with later in the series. Cool, creative shit.
And the thing that I liked about that, that was kind of interesting when they were animating the original Dragon Ball Z series. It's like they were under this horrible crunch. They didn't have, it was that thing where you were catching up to what was the original source material. And if I remember correctly, I don't want to say this, but didn't the anime of Dragon Ball Z come before the manga of Dragon Ball Z? I don't think so.
I don't want to
They
say
outran it. I think it was one of those situations where they outran it pretty quick.
Yeah. So they were coming up with things and like fight scenes and things like that, you know, kind of on the fly. And like a lot of like the really interesting stuff kind of happened from like having to think really quickly and creatively. And it's like
The same thing with when they got off of the back of the Saiyan saga, they started the Namek saga, and then they moved into the Frieza saga. He was a villain that has been.
No, the manga was first.
okay, gotcha.
They had all the filler content so that the anime would never catch up.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Dragon Ball Z is why we have filler in anime as well.
I mean, yeah. So Frieza was a tough act to follow, production wise. They had just finished with the Frieza arc, and then they dropped right into the Android saga. Now, midway through the Android saga, there was it's a corporate fucking thing that happens. They wanted that alien looking enemy.
Yep.
It was supposed to be all androids.
Yeah.
Just 17, 18, Dr. Gero.
16.
Yep.
But they weren't like that big looming threat.
Yeah, they didn't have that tailed appearance. They didn't have the 3 fingers so they made Cell on the fly and did so. If you watch the Android saga and they start to get into that weird time travel crazy shit with Trunks,
Yes.
they start to get super extra with the time travel because they had to make a plot line up to make Cell and to switch the focus. It happened in the manga, it happened in the anime, and they had to switch it. They had to make a humanoid alien scary enemy to change it. And after that they've stayed on that track. So Majin Buu was the next one.
Yeah.
He was one of the most brutal because he just didn't care. Like,
Yeah, but Majin Buu was so...
The Majin Buu saga was
Majin Buu had way too many forms.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Cell is one of the enemies with the most forms in the beginning, right? Frieza was just Frieza.
Frieza had 4 forms before.
That's
So-
more than Cell.
So he had that little midget dude. I probably shouldn't say midget. He had that little dude.
The dwarf dude.
the big horns. Yeah, the one with the horns.
in the little chair.
Yes.
And then he turned into the big horn dude.
Yes.
And then he turned into that weird, like,
Long
basically like alien.
Xenomorph bitch.
Yeah, she looked like a xenomorph ripoff. And then he turned into Perfect Frieza.
Yes.
Which was weird. Perfect Frieza was strange.
And
Okay, so now you're telling me this and they just recycle all their content.
stop.
Think about it, though. Perfect Cell. Perfect Frieza.
He did. So Toriyama had to do that.
Yeah.
That was not his concept. Were the androids because there was a point where, damn it, you've gotten so far away from your original source content. That's where the Android Saga was supposed to bring the Red Ribbon Army, which was in Dragon Ball, was like one of the ultimate arcs in Dragon Ball. And you're trying to bring it back to that.
And this is why I will stay enjoying Dragon Quest, where Toriyama is also the artist.
I mean, this is fair. Dragon Ball Z had Dragon Ball in general had it was a troublesome kind of life, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like going too far away from what was then the formula, because like even now, like the anime and manga industry is very like formulaic and very like, you know, what the company wants.
Not really. There's plenty of stuff that is not like that at all.
The only the only thing is though, the ones that are not like that are not making bread. I promise you that. Because like
Okay. Spy X Family.
Spy X Family is featured on a Jump related
platform. If you're featured on a jump-related platform, you're doing fine.
Yep.
But that is not a shonen anime. It's not an isekai.
This is true, but it's also still it's a safe bet. You're
Not really. Nobody was expecting that to pop off like it did.
I could at least look at it and say that this was like, you know, it's a good concept, you know, a fun concept.
But it beat Attack on Titan.
That's
it was
sad.
outselling Attack on Titan.
That's a little.
I don't want to talk about that.
But that is what I'm saying. Nobody was betting on a slice of life spy thriller.
Yes, but this is still a very this is a brand spanking new happening.
Yeah.
Like until now, the anime and manga industry has been a very cutthroat, you know, a lot of grind, and you know we don't have the content we actually need, or we've caught up to this content.
That's what happened with Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto is just
Bleach
crazy
is guilty
with it.
of it.
Yeah, Bleach, to the point where it's you know, nowadays, you do get a little bit more freedom where it's
No, that's
you know,
actually why Black Clover is stopping the anime for now.
yeah, because I do feel like there's a shift in how they're
we don't want to fill it with filler.
Yeah, there's a shift in how they're dealing with it because they see what can happen when you don't give the proper amount of time. Because a lot of
series
just died. Bleach in popularity died because of that.
Yes.
So 43% of Bleach's episodes are filler. Because
that really makes me confident I'll be able to get through it in time for.
Like we said, though, well, they've already started airing the dub, but anyway, like I said, though, we watched Soul Society arc, and then we skipped the Bount arc. We saw the first chunk of the Bount arc, and then that exact same part played at the beginning of the Arankar arc.
Yes, I remember that.
And it's like nothing changed.
Yeah.
So that's how we got through, because we did a run of Naruto. Now, we started on
I hate
Toonami.
Naruto, like the main character.
We started on Toonami, and we ran out of episodes.
Right.
So we started getting on the anime streaming website.
Yes.
Prior to Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Or Funimation or any of it.
Yes. And
or you were watching the episodes on YouTube in 3-part chunks.
yes.
Or Baka BG.
Oh my gosh, Baka BT.
Yeah.
So we actually figured out how much of these.
website.
No, but I think there was another one. I think Anime Uncut.
Yep. That was the other one. Oh man.
So there was we figured out how much of the series that we could skip,
Yes.
and it felt like such a fucking hack.
Right.
And we got through. We were able to get into Naruto Shippuden because we were able to
skip all the filler.
And there's actually a lot of Dragon Ball Z that has that too.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's got to keep up with the manga or stay in step with it, and that's where a lot of the filler came from. And I mean,
Well, but that kind of leads to another point, right? Where you're starting to see a lot of those anime get revived, and Full Metal Alchemist is probably the first big one that got it, right?
with Brotherhood.
Yes, because if you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood versus the original one, leaps and bounds better. My other favorite part, though, is that it took them, 40-something episodes or something like that to kill Maze Hughes in the original?
Yep.
He's dead in the first 8 in Brotherhood.
Yeah, what's the word? Truncated?
Well, they didn't need to re-show all that stuff. Pretty much everybody that was watching Brotherhood had either read the manga or watched the original anime.
Yep. And they
The sad part, though, is they still get through all the plot points just fine.
so that's another funny thing about Dragon Ball Z, because it manages to it all manages to go back to Dragon Ball. So when Super came out, which is a sequel to Dragon Ball Z, you've heard of Dragon Ball GT, right? The Grand Tour arc.
I don't want to talk about GT.
Nobody does, and I'm glad. It was terrible.
Oh, that was a jam.
What?
Come at me. That was a jam. Shut up.
See,
Shut up.
I feel like GT
No.
could have been good, but
Here's the thing. No, that was not my jam. The only thing that was good from that, inarguably, was Super Saiyan 4 design. Super Saiyan 4 design was sick as fuck. I don't care who says it.
So,
Coolest new design.
they managed to, they retconned GT. So GT actually doesn't exist in the canon. They might find a way to make it, to bring it back into the canon, but whatever.
They multiversed it.
Yeah, I think that's
they're
what they
already
did.
kinda doing that,
They pocket dimensioned it. So Super was the inverse effect of Brotherhood, right? They had 2 movies that launched the Super Initiative, which was Resurrection of F and Battle of the Gods. And they introduced Beerus
yes.
and Frieza Golden. And they spent like a lot of episodes in Super redoing the fucking movies.
Which is awesome.
So it was so you mentioned Brotherhood, and it's the exact opposite of Brotherhood. They sat there and they said, oh well, Resurrection of F, Battle of Gods, why are you doing this?
And
they did
versions of it.
Yeah, it was really low quality.
That Quest for Camelot 4P background animation. Yeah.
Yes, and they did dumb things. So they went ahead and for the Battle of Gods redo,
Redux.
they bitched Vegeta out a little bit. They like really emasculating Vegeta, and it's bullshit. I love Vegeta.
I've noticed this.
They be doing my boy dirty.
Yeah.
So like he was like fucking trying to cook for Beerus and stuff, and
Yeah,
they showed a flashback where Beerus was smacking the shit out of Vegeta's dad. I was like, bro, why you gotta be doing that?
Vegeta's dad was the king of Saiyans.
Yeah.
Because he never shuts up about the fact that he's the Prince of Saiyans.
Yeah. And then Beerus was just smacking the shit out of him. He's like, bitch. And
What?
and then they did Frieza Gold, and it was like so stupid because the first
You're not selling me on watching the new Dragon Ball.
well, you never watched the movies,
I did not.
so you're good. I watched the movies, and then Super came out. I was like, let's go, and then I had to rewatch the movies in a really weird way.
I would rather watch the movies and then skip those episodes if I was going to get into it.
Do
would
it
do that.
because the Tournament of Power is really good.
That's the thing. It does. That is what I heard, that it does pick up.
It does.
But it's like
Oh,
the thing
my
that
gosh.
I don't.
What's the dude's name?
Jiren?
Jiren. Really good.
See, the thing that I don't
Oh my
like
gosh.
about.
No. I'm interrupting you again because so the
Final way.
the Gods of Destruction. I should not. It's
Yeah,
spoilers.
I was gonna say this is a relatively.
Oh
new
my
one.
gosh.
Yeah, this
No,
is...
you need to get into it.
Yeah.
You need to get into it because what it does, if you go into it with a clean mind, it gets you. It kind of reignites that.
It's creatively bankrupt.
What?
It's creatively
Oh,
bankrupt.
spicy.
You fucking calm yourself down.
It is. Here's the thing. You got rid of a lot of, like, even, I say it again, Super Saiyan 4 was one of the best new forms that they had. Yes, the anime that it came from was not great, but Super Saiyan 4 itself looked cool as fuck. And then you traded that for slightly red aura, regular Goku, or
my
standing
gosh,
blue
bro.
hair, Super Saiyan Goku.
I did not expect this to go this way.
Or you traded that for slightly more standy up hair, regular Goku with a white aura. Like, you know what I'm saying? They
You're gonna
really
talk about Ultra Instinct like that.
listen. They
And
really,
Frieza Black is still gold.
yeah. And here's the thing. On top of that, how about this one? You had Ultra.
Do not.
Ooh,
Do not.
They
Do it.
did him dirty again. They
Do
did.
it. Do it.
They did.
Do it.
So here's the thing. Spoilers. Please skip past this point. All right. You have one more chance.
Spoilers.
Here's the thing. They gave Vegeta Ultra Ego Vegeta in the manga, which was like his personal perfected form of like the Ultra mantra, you know what I'm saying? Where it was like he would finally embrace the fact that like he's brazen, he's an asshole.
Egotistical bitch.
Yeah, he gets his own power, and it's like it's the same sort of as Goku's at like level wise, but it's like it's his own version of it. They
Right.
really did him great. And as soon as he got it, Frieza Black came in and bitch slapped both of them. Now, here's the thing. The only thing that gives you a pass is the fact that he got Goku too. But you got my dude this brand new form. He was feeling himself. He had his own fucking identity. And then you just smashed him the very next.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the thing, right? Back to the power creep. So what's going to happen after they get strong enough to beat Frieza Black?
Yeah, there's now something.
Cell Orange is going to come out.
There was already so much.
Stop.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero. There's a really big cell and he has orange features to him.
I was joking, but
There's
holy shit,
the newest movie. That's
Oh, boy. Okay, so what we're going to say, shit, we got to close it. We got to close it somehow.
I love Dragon Ball Z. I do. I know it doesn't sound like it. I love Dragon Ball Z. Like that shaped my whole childhood.
Okay, you just convinced me that I'm not watching Super.
Damn it. We lost a convert. That's your fault.
I haven't watched it yet either, so I can't say anything.
You haven't watched Super? Oh, my gosh.
I know what happens in the manga past everything, but I've never watched the anime.
Okay, I have limited free time, right? And I don't know that I want to spend it on an anime that I'm unsure about, that I know is famous for terrible power creep. And he just informed me, and I kind of already knew because I get memes and I read news articles and shit. And it's just,
Damn.
It's gotta end, right? Like, Dragon Ball has to end somewhere. Like, I don't care if it's Goku. Captain Goku. I don't care if it's Goku. I almost did it again. Damn it. I don't care if Goku becomes the supreme being of the universe. Fine, but end it.
Yeah, because it's getting a little unreasonable.
Because what's it going to be after that? He's just going to throw fucking galaxies at people? This is the galaxy bomb!
Dude, he already did a thing. Spoilers for us. Spoilers. He already did. Listen.
I don't want to hear it.
He has a mecha transformation.
What?
He gets like this crazy giant like energy armor, and he like a Power Ranger.
That's kind of like Naruto when he did the...
Here's the thing.
Like when Sasuke did the Susanoo or whatever.
Listen, they can though. Come on, man. Like Dragon Ball Z has been duffing folks since I can remember. Yeah, they got some energy blasts in there, but they never had kaiju fights. Like, why are you doing this?
Because it is quintessential. It is anime. It is basic, and it is the entry point. And with that, it is last call.
Hot takes.
Hot
Sizzling hot
takes
takes.
all day,
Damn.
right? This is Critical Hit. Thank you for having a few with us. Fear Movie Lions has been our drink of the night, and Toonami is as formative and as influential and as divisive, apparently, as could ever have been. We will see you again next Thursday. Till then, go ahead and subscribe wherever you find your podcast. Make this your new favorite Thursday tradition. Until then, drink hard, play responsibly. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Good night, folks.